There he is.
There we is.
Hey, there you go.
Okay. How you doing, Dennis?
I'm doing all right. I had to download the app to get to it.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, we're already a little ways into what we should have started, so I'm going to get going here, and we might have a few other people join us. I know Tom Wedbush will not be here this evening. He's got some other business going on where he won't be able to join us. So I'm going to try to do the minutes as we go. It shouldn't be too tough. But first, I want to welcome everybody, and also mention our judge for tonight is Jim Mathis. He's judged for several times in the past, so we'll welcome you again, Jim.
Thank you.
Always enjoy your comments. The old business I have is I believe everybody on here tonight has already paid their dues, if I'm correct, Bill.
I have not.
Yeah, I was going to say,
you have not?
Tyler, we didn't get your information either. Contact information, unless you have it, Calvin.
No. All I got is an email.
I will maybe write that up and send it along with the check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tyler.
Okay.
Yeah, you just give your name, address, phone, whether it's cell or a landline, however you want in your email.
Okay.
They'll put you on the membership list, and once we get that membership list filled out, I'll send that out to everybody. So if you want to get a hold of anybody else in the club,
Sure.
everybody has that information. Let's see. So let's see. Okay, yeah, because we want to get the dues paid before November 1st. And let's see. Now I'm getting a message from Dennis. Yeah, I'm just gonna get your email message, Dennis.
Okay.
I don't see if anybody had any shows or exhibits that they wanted to mention. Nope. Okay, any special announcements of any kind? And anybody have any concerns, questions, comments about our science subjects, our meetings, anything brewing on anybody's mind? Now's the time to speak. Well, told you this would go quick. So our subject this evening was leading lines. And at this point, I'm going to give the floor to our judge. So take it away, Jim. We are yours. And I'll try, as Jim brings up our prints, we'll try to engage with him and talk about what we did and why we did it. Maybe we see something in there that he didn't understand, or maybe he sees something in there that we didn't understand. I want to engage with him because this is where we learn, is we start bouncing ideas and thoughts off each other. And that's what this whole premise is about. We learn from one another. Well, Jim, floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I always appreciate you asking me to do this. That's maybe a third or fourth time, I'm not sure. I'll probably introduce myself a little bit, and then I'll give a disclaimer. I'll give the disclaimer first. The disclaimer is that I really don't see a lot of benefit of saying this picture is better than that one, and that one's better than this one, and this one's great and that's bad and all that kind of stuff. What I did is look at all your pictures. There's 15 of them I found. I guess that's the right number. And just looking at the whole bunch, I like that one. I like this one better than that one, and this is okay, but I like this one better. That's really all I can say. Is that some of them stood out, and by that I just mean it's just the first one I saw that jumped at me. But first, let me tell you about myself. I just had my 75th birthday, so I've been around for a long time, like 2 days ago. And I got my first camera when I was 9. And when I got in the 4th grade, and that was just my fun thing to do, is basically I had a box camera, and I got an adjustable camera when I was about 5th grade or 6th grade. And never did quite know what all the shutter speeds and f-stops did, but I got a good exposure. I was doing good. And a turning point was on the senior trip in high school. We went to Florida on a bus trip, and my pictures were universally terrible. And I was so disappointed. And when I got to college, it was like, May of after I graduated from high school. I said, I'm either going to quit taking pictures or I'm going to learn what I'm doing. So I got to college, I decided to get serious. We had some place where I lived, had a dark room, and me and a couple other guys kind of commandeered the dark room and became the photographers. And I bought a single lens reflex camera and started going to art exhibits. I went to lectures by all the cool cats like Ansel Adams and all those guys. They came to our college, and it was Kansas State University. And they had an art gallery there. It often had a lot of black and white photographs. And it was there that I decided that my future was black and white photography. So my first job after I left K-State was working at a camera store in Kansas City. That's how I came to Kansas City. I worked at a camera store for 2 years, paid off some bills, and saved up enough money. And in 1973, I opened a custom black and white photo lab. So we did black and white film processing and printing, mainly for publications and professionals, for 23 years. 96, I saw the world was changing, and we'd already lost customers because they'd switched to digital. And I said, okay, so this is a good time to get out. So I had an opportunity to sell the business, did something else for about 10 years, really. And then by this time, the transition to digital was complete. And actually 2001, I got my first digital camera, and it was like revolutionary. Says, okay, this is it. So actually I started using Photoshop in 91. So in 2001, I got a digital camera. Between that time, I was shooting slides and scanning them all and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I got my first digital camera 22 years ago. And last roll of film I developed in a dark room was in 1996. That's last roll of film I shot was like 2000 even. So I've been a digital guy. Now my business card says Photoshop Pro. I consider myself Photoshop professional. And spent the last 2 days at Adobe Max, in fact, online, learning all the latest stuff, and try to stay up on everything. So that's where I'm at. Some of what I do is black and white. A lot of it's color. I know you guys are all black and white, which is fine. Now when I shoot, in fact, I saw where some of the pictures are shot with the Leica monochrome camera, which is really, really cool. Appreciate that. Don't remember who it was, but somebody had that. Because I looked at the pictures and then I looked to see what camera they were shot with and exposures just for fun. So anyway, that's where I'm at. And so what, I think I'll just go through the pictures. I guess I can share my screen. This one, I believe, is what we want. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay. Does that look like your pictures?
Yes.
Looks like them.
Okay. So I just kind of arranged them the way I liked them. And I think we'll just go through one by one and talk about them, I guess. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
The one, when I first opened, I downloaded them off a line, where it was, with Dropbox, whatever you guys put them on. And oh, by the way, my main, I'm still, even though I'm 75, I'm still doing photography every day, and mainly I'm doing Photoshop work. And my main business is restoring old photographs. So I'm working on old pictures. Sometimes people have old negatives, slides, sometimes mainly old prints, but sometimes some glass plates. I just print anything that people bring me and then fix them up and so forth. So anyway, that's what I'm used to looking at, is vintage photographs and old things. So anyway, when I first looked at these things, this one right here jumped off the page at me. Huh? It took me a minute to figure out what it is. Was this the open class? Yeah, this is open. Let's just do the open class first. And I guess that looks like a stainless steel Viking ship.
Is that the like Minneapolis Vikings? Or
Yeah, that's in front of US Bank Stadium.
yes.
I actually went there this last weekend to a Chiefs game.
Yeah.
This was taken with an iPhone at about 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night.
I saw that on the specs. I can look up to it. camera shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really cool. So that was actually of the whole 15, that was the one that jumped out at me. And like I said, it took me a while to even figure out what it was. I just really like the lines and the tone and you know, the swooping nature of it. You know, I saw all that before I realized that, yeah, I think this is a Viking ship. I didn't know Vikings had stainless steel. So now that you say it's in Minneapolis at the stadium, that makes sense because I couldn't figure out where it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
The black thing there in the back for the sail is actually a big LED screen. It just happened to be off when I was taking the pictures. So
Oh, in the background, black.
Yeah.
Then this is the sky on the left, right?
yeah.
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 Yeah. I don't know if I would have cloned that little flag out or not. It's fine. You know, I kind of tend to tidy. I'm getting so I'm tidy stuff up. You know,
Yeah.
it's so easy. I like to take out trash cans and traffic cones, anything like that. But I don't. That's fine. In fact, if you took it out, it might be kind of blank. That's probably okay. This probably helps. So, anybody else have a thought about that one? I'll leave it up.
I think I'd also remove that flag.
Mhm.
It's the first thing that I seen other than the Viking ship, but for some reason it just sort of bothers me.
Yeah.
I like what was captured in the sky. Almost looks like a impressionist painting. The texture of it, of the clouds. I thought it was really nice feature.
Yeah. I've noticed that the iPhone at night does really weird things with clouds and
Yeah, but it's kind of grainy, but yeah, it does that. Yeah, that's just because the sensor's small or something.
yeah.
Yeah, it basically does a lot of amplification, you know, to make it for.
I would maybe crop it a little bit to the right so that there's not those bright lights in the bottom right.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. That might make a difference. Did you crop it square or did you have your phone set to square? I think camera phones you can set to square if you want to.
Yeah. I just cropped it square.
Okay.
I took the picture and processed it all on the iPhone. So
Okay.
Oh,
I was pretty limited on what I could do. So
Yeah. I like square. I in the olden days, I was a big Rolly fan, and Victor, I graduated from or didn't graduate. I moved from a Rolleiflex to a twin lens Mamiya, and I had 2 or 3 of those, and then when the 645s came out, I got that, which was not square, but I always. I mean, I see a lot of advantages to square. One thing, you can crop either horizontal or vertical later if you want to, which is typically what you do. And there's some tricks you can do with square you can't do with anything else, like just use the bottom half of the picture and so forth.
yeah, I love the square framing of
Yeah.
of a twin lens reflex.
Yeah, and then back when I worked at camera store, we got Hasselblad magazines. We're a Hasselblad dealer, so they'd give us magazines. Of course, every single picture in a Hasselblad magazine is square because they were a big proponent of square format. So the cover and everything was square. In fact, I think magazine may have been square. Okay, next picture. Ready for the next picture? Dennis. This is really cool too. You don't think of flowers in black and white, but this was my next favorite picture. Any thing you want to tell us about? Was that natural light or we had it on?
So that's natural light. I had bought a Voigtlander 40 millimeter manual lens for my Nikon. It's a Z mount lens. So I was just going outside and taking flowers, and the lilies that I had were in really nice light. So I took it in color. And then when I got it into Lightroom, that I looked at it and it looked really interesting with the way the light was. So I just converted it to black and white and used a preset in one of my programs and then just sort of increased the contrast a little bit to put that black to black and white, the background.
Yeah, the background was just dark already.
The background was pretty dark already.
Yeah, I've done something
I
like
just
that where I just had a black card or black piece of paper stuck behind the pictures or behind the flower.
So it was right up against the side of the house and the flowers were in sun and the background was a couple of feet behind and it was just sort of dark already.
All right. So you didn't use like a black card or something to,
Use black card, didn't do really anything besides just a little bit of work in dark or Lightroom. And then I took it over into On1 to convert it to black and white and add a preset.
okay. Any other comments or to Dennis or about that one or?
Was your light kind of broken up through some shadows or, like say through trees or?
Through the trees. So there's a little bit of light coming through and hitting in different
Okay.
spots. We've got a big tree, a pin oak
Okay.
on my back right side, and the sun was coming over the top of the tree, and some of it was in shade and some was at dark.
Okay. Wait for the next one. So that was my the open class. Those were my first and second choices, and then the next ones. The next two, I like. Let's see. I liked them all, so I'm not going to say which one I like best. But this would be, I guess this would be my third choice. This is Kelvin's Bridge. In fact, I thought this was one of the leading lines, but I see it just said open, so it's still looks like leading lines to me. But is the bridge open to traffic? I know it's got some boards.
No, it's closed. You can't even walk across this bridge. This is on the south side of the old Osawatomie State Hospital. This used to be the main bridge across the river down there to go to and from the hospital. But yes, it's in pretty bad shape. I wouldn't even want to walk across some of them boards.
Yeah, you can see
They
it's
look like
I don't.
some of those that are still out there on that deck look rotten enough that if you stepped on them, you'd go right through them.
Yeah. It's a steel bridge.
Yeah. There's you can see a big black or dark square at the top of the trusses back there in the back.
Yeah.
There's another one right up above where I'm standing and it had 3 names on it. And I can't remember the names now. I should have looked it up. I've got the information on them, but I couldn't figure out what the names of these 3 names were on the bridge. And it turns out that back in the day when they had the money to put this bridge up, I think it was I think the total cost for the bridge from stem to stern was like 200,000 for the county. They got some state funding with that, and there were 3 county commissioners that decided they wanted their names on this bridge, so they put their names on these big metal plaques and put them up on each end of it.
That's funny.
And, okay, politicians got to get his name up there somewhere, but yeah, the other end of it is blocked off with a big pile of timber they've just pushed up with a bulldozer. See, this in there actually has a fence. So to get rid of the fence, I just went up to the fence and shot through the openings in the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't want grid lines going through my shot there. But
I think
the old bridge is still there.
Yeah, I think I would have cropped the bottom off, but I'm not sure if it made up to not.
Yeah, I want to leave that open part in the deck just to
Yeah,
kind
because
of
you
give
kind
an
of need
idea.
to show that it's rotted out. Yeah, that's probably
it's in
the holes. Yeah,
it's in bad disrepair.
Yeah. Okay, any thoughts on that one?
Calvin, were there more boards that were like torn up, or was it just those 2?
Well, there's actually further down, it's hard to see here, but further down on towards the other end, there were more boards that were missing.
What is this?
And
do?
then some of it, if you walk up to it and look at them closely, study them, they look like they're so rotten that if you stepped on them, you'd just go right through them.
Yeah.
It looked like some of them couldn't bear any weight at all. They're all looks like, I think it was all 2-inch thick rough sawn oak planks that went across that thing, but they're more rotten and more decayed than not at this point. Those trusses running underneath the deck are steel trusses. So they got the wood deck leaning on a steel truss.
Because I actually do like the boards missing.
Yeah.
Because I think you could have maybe had more of the boards missing, like to show like the contrast of like the boards missing and then there's no boards missing over here.
Well, if I would have backed out on this end of it, I would have had fence across my shop.
Okay, I see.
And the only other way I would have been able to get more of the deck was put my drone up and take a shot at the other, because at the other end, you just put an arrow on there, Jim.
I thought that I was trying to
That's the other place where
I was trying to put an arrow where the
Right.
the board was missing. I was trying to figure out how to use the pointer.
Yeah, well, that's all right. But yeah, that's one of the other places I noticed that
What's this do?
boards were missing.
There you go.
Yeah.
How do you get rid of that? There you go. Okay. All right. There you go. The next I'll figure out the annotations here before we go far. Let's see here. How do you close this down here? Well, now how do I get back to where it was? Maybe I got to close this thing to do it.
Yeah, if you close the annotation, it should let you back.
So on that
Well,
shot count,
I think this happened last time. Oops. Blow it up. Do that. How to get out of it? I'm going to stop sharing it and come back and see what it is.
was that a wide angle lens on that shot, Calvin?
No, that wasn't wide angle.
There you go. I guess you can see that.
Yeah.
Okay. I really like this one too. This was this and the bridge actually are kind of tied, and in fact they're all about the same. But where's this?
That's somewhere in the middle of New Mexico. There wasn't anything out and around that particular area. Yeah, I could just see it off the highway. So it's a dried up lake, and I guess the fence went down through the middle of the lake. You can kind of see the water up in the center of the image.
This is when it looks particularly cool in black and white. Yeah. I can in color it probably wouldn't have been quite as dramatic, but
yeah, it's got a lot of muted blues and
yeah,
and browns and so forth, reds and stuff. So it's pretty in color as well.
Yeah, you probably need to enhance it to make it pop, but in black and white looks cool. Okay, any thoughts on that one? I mean, this is one. This would look good big. This just needs to be like a 40-inch print hanging in your living room or something.
Yeah, is that sand in the foreground?
Huh?
Uh-huh.
We on a hill looking down, I guess, or on.
Well, what did you ask, Calvin?
Is that sand? The white is that sand?
Yeah,
or
it was kind of a sand. Yeah, you're
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Open sunlight, student wear. Okay.
Yeah, well, I originally started to use this for leading lines, and I decided I didn't like it.
Oh, so you changed the category.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not really leading lines. It's a tree.
right. Well, the sunlight, if I had gotten it off a little more to the right, the wall in the front kind of leaning off to the side, and then the sunlight back towards the house.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, white made it look good in color, but black and white, I'm not sure it works really well.
Well, I wonder what it would look like if you got just real close to the tree where you had a lot of bark and stuff like that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure house adds anything.
Probably not.
But if you moved it, cropped it over, then you'd have more of the shrubbery, which may not help either. But the tree is cool. I probably would try to get a little closer to the tree. Yeah. A little closer. What? Anybody else have a thought?
Yeah, I do like the lighting on the top
Yeah,
of the tree, and
yeah.
then also the detail of it
Mhm.
and the texture. Yeah, I mean, maybe if you could maybe just crop like the middle of the tree to the bottom of the bush, so we don't see that house in the background. Then I think that would be a much better image, because my eye just leads to that to the top of the tree,
Oh, up the top, yeah.
or like the middle.
Yeah, where it's the tree splits and all that is kind of interesting looking. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And then open eggs, shadowed eggs, Tom. Looks a little. Fine, I'll move here and see what this is. Cannon Rebel. 34 millimeter. Let's see. Oops. I was going to open it in Photoshop. I wasn't planning on doing that. I was planning on just, that's all right. You can see it. Okay. I really like it. In fact, the more I look at it, the better I like this. First of all, I like eggs, and you can't really go wrong with eggs. Get some of the stuff out of the way here. Out of the way.
I'm not sure we can see the Photoshop window you opened it in. I still see the,
Yeah, I'm just seeing the bridge window.
Yeah, I double clicked. If you highlight the picture, the thing, and then hit the space bar, it opens up full screen. But if you double click it, opens Photoshop. So I forgot what I was doing and double clicked it. So, but I think this is really dramatic. Now that I look at it,
we're just seeing like a small view of it.
there we go. That's
There you go.
load of a
There
bridge.
you go.
Can you see it better?
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't know what you guys were seeing for sure.
yeah, I like the texture on the eggshells. That's what I
Me
like.
too. There's something about eggs. I when I was a kid, I raised chickens and I sold eggs, and so I just always liked it. In fact, that was one of the things I first photographed when I was a kid was eggs and chickens. So
Yeah, I like his shadow.
I see nothing I do different about that. So
yeah, the shadow of the whisk on the eggs kind of tells you sort of what's going to happen to those eggs there in a minute.
and it says, yeah, it's got a beater over there or a whisk.
Yeah,
Whisk?
a whisk.
Yeah, the eggs
Yeah.
should be nervous, but they're not. Yeah.
Or would it be better to just remove the whisk and just have the lines?
I think the whisk is important.
Yeah. Without the whisk, you kind of wonder what the lines were made from.
Yeah, because that tells you why there's lines on the eggs. Yeah. And did just have a floodlight off to the side, or what was this? Or in the window, or what?
I don't know. He's not here tonight. So
he's not here. Okay, we don't know.
No,
So we can talk about it.
we don't know.
Okay.
I took a photography class in college under a professional photographer. One of the assignments he gave the entire class was shoot an egg. And we're saying, well, what do you mean shoot an egg? He goes, shoot an egg. And he says, use your imagination. You never saw so many interesting photos.
Yeah, that actually, I remember when that was actually a fairly common photo class. They'd everybody shoot eggs or fruit or something, but Oh, this would have been a typical class
Yeah.
when I had a photography class if the assignment was eggs.
Right.
That was a good egg picture I've seen. How to think about it. Okay, let's go to the next one. We got just two more open ones. Let's see, what was this title? This is called No Robin Hood, Tyler. So I guess the joke is
I like
missed,
it.
missed all the bullseyes.
Well, you see the arrow stuck in the roof.
Oh, in the roof. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We got arrows stuck everywhere on the ground.
Yeah.
I like
That's a
it.
pretty funny picture.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah, I messed around with a bunch of different crops. It was kind of a hard thing for me to settle into because the rest of the actual picture is there's a lot more pictures. So I came up with like a super tall crop that I also liked. Ended up not submitting because there's also another hole like way up in the top of the roof that was letting light in that I thought was kind of cool. But yeah.
Yeah, how long was Target set out there to get all those arrows stuck in them?
Yeah,
Man.
this is at the Renaissance Fair in
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Springs.
Now I know where you're at.
Yeah.
Which one? The Renaissance Fair?
The one in
Yeah.
Bonnet Springs that's going on right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, in fact, I think it just closed Monday.
Oh, okay.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, closed for the season. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm familiar with
I've been there for a long time. Yeah.
They had the archery shooting range over there. Do you know how many arrows they'd give you for a buck, an arrow or something like that, or 3 or 4 for $5? Do you remember?
Oh, I didn't actually look. I figured it was a free thing, but I guess it makes sense that it was paid.
They probably charge you and then give you a prize for accuracy, but it's all at some point they'd go pull all the arrows out because otherwise you wouldn't know which one was yours.
Yeah. Those two targets there.
It's good. Actually, you think about it, there's a lot of questions here. Like, why didn't somebody go
Yeah.
pull all the arrows out?
Yeah, I like that. That tells a story right there. That tells a story.
Yeah. And then and these last ones are not in any particular order. I just rated the first three, and then this one is what's the name of this? Greatest catching a frisbee. Yeah, it's a good action picture.
Yeah, so this was at sectionals for Club Ultimate last year. And this person just threw like a deep huck down the field. And this person, who's also named Spencer, made a sick layout, and he actually caught it. And then there's also great reaction photos right after.
Yeah. I'm going to open this in Photoshop and see what it for a second here.
I really love the composition of that piece and what you did with the cropping. It's very like dramatic Renaissance.
Can you see that all right?
No, we're not seeing it. I think you shared just your window, so.
Is that better or worse?
We still
Can't see it all.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing it and open it up again. I know what happens when I switch to different program. It loses it. There, I bet you can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's in Photoshop. That's Photoshop. Okay, here I use the camera raw filler, which is the same as Lightroom a lot.
Right.
And what I would do is turn the highlights down like that.
Okay.
And then I would maybe turn the blacks down a little bit like that, dark one. And I wonder what happened if you turn the texture up. And that helps right there. And you can put the background filter on it. So this does. That highlights the background, and then you can make it a little darker, I suppose. And there you go. That's all I'm gonna do. For me, it makes him jump out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Makes the texture on the
And you
shirt.
can see, in fact, you can see it
Yeah.
says Kansas City on it and everything now.
Mhm.
That is a great action shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I give
That
it
is-
just looked a little bit too bright to me, and that helps right there. I'm not going to say this, but I'm going to get back to bridge, and now I guess I need to. You can't see that, right?
No,
Okay, I got to stop sharing, and then hit share again.
when you share, just pick the screen and not a window.
Okay, now we're ready for assignments. Through the trees. This is Calvin's. This is actually this leading lines. What I like to be. This is what's cool about this is it's not really contrived leading lines. I was told my wife, she said earlier just a few minutes ago, she said, "What's the assignment?" I said, "Leading lines." She's like, "Railroads." I said, "Yeah." I said, "That's the cliche. That's the first thing you think of, or train track or county road, But she said, "Which one do you like?" I said, "I like the one with the sun coming through the trees." Because it's lines, but it's not the first thing you think of. You think of leading lines. So that was
Yeah, the other part of this that caught my eye was I'm looking at the light and the shadows. It was a foggy morning, obviously, but this is kind of a hillside, so it's a little bit, the ground contour is a little bit off. It's not perfectly flat because it's tilted down to one side. But if you look through the center of those trees, I'm seeing another set of leading lines that lead you back into what you can't see.
Yeah, it's got a lot of the fog gives it a lot of layers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that morning out there. I did, I think, last fall out the park, and my God, I saw this. I thought, oh, I got to get this before it burns off.
Mm-hmm.
very nice, Cal.
Fog is always good. Getting out in the foggy morning, amazing what you find.
And the
Yeah, I was
tilting,
actually, huh?
the tilting ground doesn't bother me because you've got the picnic table perfectly level in the
Yeah,
background.
it's obviously on a hill. It's not like
Right.
you didn't have a camera straight. It was a hill because and the trees are going straight up.
Right. The leading tree is kind of leaning to the left, but the tree behind it is, and
Straight.
they're perfectly straight up and down.
Yeah. So if you try to straighten the ground, and all the trees will be leaning.
Right. Yeah. Because I played with that and I thought, it made it look bad. So I just put it in there as level as I could get it with based on the tree in the background and that tabletop. Because the table's sitting on a concrete pad.
Yeah. So somebody probably spent a lot of time leveling. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my level spot to work from.
Yeah. Yep.
But I almost did another version of this. The expanded image of this is up on the upper right hand corner. The trees are cut off at a 45-degree angle because the trees, the tree in the foreground is taller, and the one in the background is shorter, and it gives you the what they call the golden triangle effect as far as lines. But I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go for the triangle effect. If I'd go from the top right corner down to the line of the trees and then cut across there, it makes a perfect triangle. Then I don't know if you know what I'm talking about or not, but that's it. It's kind of an artistic style, because I was looking at that more so than I was, what I was going to wind up with here. But I ended up taking the triangle part of it out. I didn't want to leave it in there. It looked too awkward.
Oh, I might have tried a little contraster. It's okay, but it may be a little bit gray. We've got to go with this little routine again here. Open in Photoshop. Now I got to stop sharing, and then I'm going to hit. There's probably a simpler way to do this, but this does seem to work. Okay. Now, first of all, being a Photoshop guy, the first thing I would do, and this is probably not a big deal, but it bugs me. I'd take the spot healing brush and I'd get rid of these things here that look like what we used to fight all the time on black and white negatives, water spots. But this is probably digital, so it may not be what negative spots, but that's what it looked like.
It's digital.
Yeah, so I don't know what this is, but it looks like water spots on the negative. But
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
so you can just spot them out real easy because that's
Right.
I do a lot of work with old negatives. And that's the first thing I do is I'll take out all the scratches and everything. And let's see what happens if we just go to camera raw filter and make this a little bigger so you guys can see it. Make the blacks blacker like that, and maybe the whites whiter. Is that better or worse?
I don't know. I like I don't if you go too black, I think it takes too much detail out of those out of the canopy.
Yeah. And that looks like that's you see the sky through the tree, but it looks like a blur.
Right.
So pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's just me.
It is more enhanced contrast.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna leave it on Photoshop. I'm gonna close this. And then I'm gonna, since you guys don't need to see my bridge, I'm gonna open the next one in Photoshop too. This is in fact the highway. You're seeing that, right? Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
I'll move this little thing out of the way. Pin it in position. I really like this one too. This looks like a lot of highways I've seen in the Southwest. Where is this?
It's in Big Bend National Park, southern Texas.
Oh, down Texas.
The
Oh, yeah, down
Mexican-
Southwest. That's down Southwest Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I like the brown. I just like everything about it. This one and the trees are, you know, they're both. In fact, I think I put them both down as first place, but I didn't.
So Bill, is this a long?
I put this one as second because the other one was so unusual because you not what you expect. This is what you expect from leading lines. And this is more, I wouldn't say cliche, but it's more obvious that, oh yeah, that's the leading line picture right there.
Bill, were the clouds like that, or is this a long exposure?
no, I enhanced the clouds and somehow they ended up a whole lot grainier than the rest of the image.
Oh, okay.
That's yeah, when you convert, I don't know what it is, but when you convert a color to black and white, and by darkening the sky, it gets grainier, and it sometimes gets real funky, and it's worse with JPEG. So that's one of the advantages of RAW. But even then, it's going to do the same thing. And but one thing you can do is actually select the sky and soften it. Let's see what that happens.
Yeah, that's what it was, Jim, originally. It was lighter and softer, and you didn't get the much of the trailing and stuff that you.
I'm gonna hit select the sky, and then I'm going to hit let's see, where is it? Texture. Turn it down, turn the clarity down just a little bit.
There you go. That's what I wanted it to look like.
There you go. Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's way better.
Yeah. And you can with either in Lightroom or camera raw filter, you can just hit select sky. In fact, you can hit select sky here, does the same thing. And then you can make it darker or whatever, make it real goofy looking. But if you have a lot of grain like that, you can just soften it with the texture thingy.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what I like about your
it's not that big a deal, but it's just like helps a little bit, you know.
Yeah, it does help. Yeah.
Bill, what I like about your sky is you've got lines in your clouds that mimic what the road is doing.
Yeah, I got lucky there, Calvin.
Yeah.
They were-
That's what caught my eye when I first looked at this. I thought, oh, look here, we got two sets of lines heading.
Yeah,
the same
yeah, they
direction.
point to the same place. Yeah, that's a happy thing. Yeah. Do you ever use a sky replacement?
I think I've tried it on one image and that's been it so far, but
I had a bunch of skies, and on a color you got to then convert it back to black and white again. But let's see.
right.
Because otherwise you have a blue sky and everything else is brown. I just photograph a lot of skies. That's one of the things I do a lot is just shoot skies, and then here we go, try that one. And then let's see if I can just do it the easy way and see what I would just desaturate it. What did I do? I desaturated the wrong thing. Let's see here. Get my sky group. There you go. Try that. Image. Well, I could try this one. There you go. That we have to increase the contrast of it. Yeah, that didn't help much. But sometimes if you don't have a sky you like, you don't like, you can just change skies, and then you got to think with it a little bit more. Anyway, that's that. Cool picture.
Thank you.
Okay,
Very cool.
next one is Bill's. There you go. And this has a dramatic sky. Was this the real sky, or did you change the sky?
Oh, it's a real sky.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of addicted to changing skies. I shoot skies and then I find pictures that go with it, but not always, but sometimes. And then you change the sky before you convert to black and white, then it works better.
Yeah, I actually didn't realize that sky was that way until after I printed the thing.
Yeah.
But here you got a real cliche, right?
Well, I wouldn't call it, it's just, I mean, that's just what you expect. You got the curb and the street, and this is the obvious leading lines. So it's cool though. And the kind of the dramatic sky and the trees, help it. Any thoughts on that one? It's just a very pleasant picture. I don't know if I would have cropped it up any. I'm gonna compare. Whoops. There.
I think that's better.
I was thinking about just doing this. Is that better or worse? It's not some obviously leading lines, but you see more of the tree in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the original.
Okay. Undo crop.
And I debated on that limb that's up in the upper right-hand corner. I debated on taking that out, and I took it
Oh,
out.
those trees?
Pardon?
That tree limb?
Yeah. But when I took it out, I decided I didn't like it.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah. Well, one thing, you don't want to crop it out because then you lose part of the sky, but you can, there's this 50 new tool called Remove Tool. Have you found that? And if you don't like the tree limb, you just go like this.
Uh-huh.
No, what this is, you get a little artifact sometimes. You take that out. There you go. That's what it looked like without the limb.
Yeah. I don't know. I still like it with that piece of limb in it. So.
I do too. I'm going to go back to.
The limb brings your eye back to the middle.
Yeah, there. It's better with the limb.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Keeps
Any
you
other
from
thoughts on that one?
wandering.
Beautiful.
The limb keeps you from wandering out.
And you have an El Camino in the background there. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yeah.
Nice.
Since I like cars, I'd put the El Camino up front, but that's right. Okay. No, I'm not gonna say that. Bridge. Okay, Spencer's building.
Yeah, this was just in the West Bottom zone. I was just walking around and looking for leading lines.
Yeah.
I there are some railroads near me, but to try something different.
Yeah, down the West Bottom, there's all kinds of, have curvy railroads and all kinds of things. I haven't been down there walking around with my camera lately, but I think there's a lot of potential down there.
Well, I do live down there for the time.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm planning on moving next year because I don't like where I live, but
You live there now?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, until July 4th.
To get into the winter in. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this like a fire escape or what is it?
I
Is it a
don't really
chimney?
know exactly what it is. It looked like a smokestack almost.
Yeah, maybe it's part of the furnace or something. But now some old buildings built like in the 19th century, they didn't have fire escapes, so they would put. I've seen build a thing which is basically a spiral slide where you jump in and slide all the way to the bottom, but I don't think that's what it is. Otherwise, they've been able to get to it from various levels. This has got to be a smokestack.
Isn't that like a haunted house, that spiral one?
Yeah.
It's got to be some sort of chimney or something. Yeah. Yeah. Any thoughts on this one? I mean, it's just a nice picture.
I can tell you that there was one place I started to go to shoot one for leading lines, and it's St. Mary's College. Bill Studmeyer probably knows right where this building is.
Yeah.
It's up on their campus, and on one building, and I think it's a dormitory building,
Right.
there are two identical spiral staircases on the outside. They're fire escapes. And at the right time of day, see, like where Tyler has his sun hitting the stack or this pipe, whatever it is. If you'd got those two fire escapes, lit by the sun, you would not only have the fire escapes, but you'd have their shadows cast against a brick building.
It's a spiral fire escape.
Yes.
Yeah. So I didn't imagine that they're around. Yeah.
Yeah, they are around.
Yeah.
Like I say this, Todd, your depth of field on this is great. I love your depth of field.
Yeah, this is a perfectly fine photo, as somebody would say. Yeah, everything's technically good about it. Yeah. Okay, let's see what the next one is here. Okay, I'm going to close out that one. Okay, Cosmic Loops, Travis Putman. This is interesting, but I just thought it was kind of confusing because I couldn't figure out what was going on. I guess it's leading lines. This is some sort of this is like a stainless steel sculpture somewhere.
Yeah, this is at the new Kansas City terminal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is a piece of artwork they have just past security. Right before you head back to the B gates. So this is also
down towards the bottom. You've got something there in the background. What is that?
That's a mirror. I mean, there's a mirror down at the mirrored surface down at the bottom. So
yeah, the time I've tried to photograph stainless steel sculpture stuff is just like it looked really cool in person, but the pictures is like, well, let's see what's going on. And but it's
I just saw lots of lines and I thought, yeah, that makes leading lines.
Yeah, I wonder if what it would look like in color. Maybe not as good. Maybe you need to be black and white to make it more abstract. Of course, black and white by definition is abstract because the world is in color. So if you shoot black and white, it's already, abstract and surreal and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I increased the texture in the wood beam and the wood at the top there. But yeah, in color, it looks very similar in color, actually.
Probably, yeah.
That is really cool. I was mesmerized. I stared at this for I don't know how long, trying to figure out exactly what. I thought, okay, it's got to be some kind of artwork. My God, that's you're sharp from stem to stern on this one. I mean, it's just, yeah, you're spot on your depth of field, how sharp that is. My God, that's cool.
Let me look at the technical specs over here.
Makes me want to go up there and walk around this thing. Look
Yeah,
at
I
it
kind
from
of want to
all
go. I
sides.
want to grab her and take a look at it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I took several
Wow.
shots around different angles and different vantage points, and I settled on this one because it was more symmetric.
sure, yeah. That is cool.
Yeah. Okay. Ready for the next one? This is Tyler's. When I first looked at this, I thought this is just dark. I don't know what it is, and so I was trying to figure it out. In fact, looking at it just on the light table thingy, I didn't see the guy standing there taking a picture or whatever it is he's doing.
Hey,
So,
that's me.
huh?
That's me.
That's you.
And
Yeah.
Is this a self-portrait?
No, I'm
Smelly went,
yeah. Tyler and I went.
Oh, I see. Tyler took the picture.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But you're in it. Okay.
It's also in the West Bottoms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, what I did after I looked at it for a while, here's what I did. Open it in Camera Raw, and then I open. There's a shadow sliding. Open up the shadows. Open up the shadows. And in fact, I lightened the whole thing. And then I darkened the sky, highlights, not too much so they go weird looking. And then I could see what you were doing, and increase the clarity a little bit, which some people don't like, but I kind of do. And then at that point is when I realized that it was not straight up and down. So there is, at least it was curved a little bit. It may be, I mean, this middle pillar is straight, but the right one is crooked. So
Yeah,
some
it's
of it
keystone.
right. So we had this cool thing called geometry. You click on that, then you hit on the little vertical lines, it pops right in. So probably have the highlight thing too high. Let's see.
Well, I did intentionally rotate it slightly. So if you go back to the original,
Okay.
you'll see there's a very
So-
intentional like geometry
Okay.
of the triangle.
So anyway, I like this better because I could see you better and a little more dramatic looking. And I'm going to compare it to that. That was the way, that was what you sent in. And this is after I worked on it. So whatever you like, but this is the way I liked it. So if I'd have seen it this way, I'd have liked it better the first time, because at first I didn't see, I didn't even see you. And this black area under the bridge was like, you know, I mean, it could be on a print or something, it looked a little different, but after I lightened it up, yeah, and increased the clarity a little bit, and you can see all the under the bridge. And then at this level of brightness, I can clearly see it's you and see what you're doing. You're leaning over taking a picture. But at first, it was not obvious. Anybody have thoughts on that?
If I did anything else to it, I would go right up there to maybe take the left, maybe not quite the left third of it off, right outside that bridge abutment. You know, to just get rid of the sky and some of that background stuff.
Oh, where it says "Do not enter."
Well, yeah, I mean, I would come in just a little bit and just crop that off, so that way it's gonna push your. It's
Maybe
gonna
like
push you
that?
a little bit more.
Yeah,
Put it more in the third.
I would go to the column almost.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, because that pushes your point of interest right down through all those upright pillars.
Yeah.
And that kind of puts
And
your
there-
subject almost down in that lower third.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the way I did it. You know, I mean,
There's all those
everybody's-
pillars, looking down those pillars, it's like you're looking through a tunnel almost. It's really cool.
in fact, this is. I guess this is leading line. Was this leading lines?
Yes.
Yeah, and so it is. It's the. In fact, it's more obvious with it lightened up a little bit that those pillars are all in a row and leading down there.
And yeah, then also you have the shadow of the bridge, which curves down through the center of all that.
Yeah. To me, just lightening it up so you can see everything. It's like, oh wow, that's a lot better.
I do like this crop way better than what it was before.
And I'd also then get rid of this little thing right down there. What really is?
Well, that's trash.
Yeah, no. I always,
Yeah.
in
Where
the
are you
old
gonna go this
days, we
time?
actually had to pick up the trash. Now we can just spot it
No, yeah, there was just a bunch of trash just over there.
out.
Yeah. That's is that the 670 bridge?
It,
Or is that 670 or 470?
Another piece of trash.
I think it is 670.
Yeah.
That's
No,
the
I
one
just,
that
I
goes
just
out.
cleaned up the trash. It looks better.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, let's see here. Any other thoughts on that one? That's a cool.
Yeah, that's a great photograph.
Let's see here. Let me find it. And then the last one is the fence. Going to say that this is another obvious leading line. Yeah. This is perfectly fine. I had I belong to the Kansas City Society of Contemporary Photographers, and I have never been able to figure out what they like. And they have juried shows every now and then. And a couple of years ago, you can submit 5 pictures, and they usually choose like 1 to none. They have a whole lot of entries. You know, they need like 20 out of 300 or 400 submissions. So I submitted like 5 pictures. One of them was a black and white of a picket fence, and it was the last one I chose. I was trying to find 5 of these pictures. I had 4 really great ones, and I had a picket fence. And I'll send that. That's the one they chose. That was one everybody loved. Oh, great. I said, okay. It was kind of like this. So what I know from that is some people really like these pictures.
Mm.
But I don't know. It is clearly the assigned. I don't know if it'd make any difference if we cropped it up or not.
No, that's pretty much the way I shot it.
Yeah, maybe. Well, let's see here. Maybe crop the top down. Would that make a difference?
And then move it in more.
From the left or right,
Left side.
or like that?
Well, I don't
better?
really like the swing set in the background.
You like the swing set or don't?
No, I don't. That's like my only concern. So that you just have the fence itself, or you can remove it in Photoshop.
You fix that. How about that? I think that's better.
Yeah, that is better. I guess I need to work on my Photoshop skills and learning more.
And also, then you can burn in the front down here a little bit. Let's see here. Burn in the highlights. Burn that down a little bit, and then you can dodge the shadow there. Let's say shadow, dodge, shadows. Lighten up that part. Yeah, doesn't take much. I mean, still George now. Any other thoughts on that one?
I like it. I like the shadows that are cast along the ground.
Yeah, me too. That's what makes it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's the big deal. Yeah, it wouldn't the
Dennis?
shadow. It is, in fact, it's really a picture of the shadow.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
I think it would be cool if you just cropped like just the fence and the bottom shadow. That would be interesting to see.
To where?
To like the edge of the tree shadow. So if you go to the left
Oh, like to there? Oh,
and then to like go farther in, so it's very vertical.
more like
More on the left side. So you just see those the shadow of the fence post. So it's more extreme.
more like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that as well.
Yeah, getting rid of the tree. Yeah,
Yep.
all kinds of ways you do it.
Yeah.
Have you guys discovered outcropping yet? If this is, let's see if this works here. You can, the newest version of Photoshop that just came out like last week. If you decide, see if this was the way it was shot originally, but decide you wanted to add something, you can. They call it outcropping. I've also heard of extending the background. And then up here you can choose generative expand. Ooh. And then you hit OK.
You could put your car in there.
It kind of put it back the way it was. Then you have choices. There you go. And you want to put, when you want to put your car on back here?
Yeah. But I guess you'd have to expand it more to do that.
Well, let's see what this does here.
Are you gonna put the garage right there?
We'll put car. I drove it at this edge, so it'll be theoretically the front of the car we stick it in there. Let's see what it does. And it may be, there you
Oh wow.
go. And you got a couple choices here. And if you,
Oh,
I
that's
don't
pretty
know
nice.
what that is.
Oh my.
And if you don't like it, you can hit generate again and does another one.
Amazing.
Let's see. I think I liked. This is the best car. That's some of them don't look like real cars. And then while you're at it, you might as well put a little dog down here. And the shape and the size of this thing you of the selection pretty much determines what you're going to get, and better description you make, the better. And you can put back of a car or whatever. Since I drew it off the edge, there's the dog. And
Just said El Camino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then actually that's some color. Sometimes there we go. That's better. This is the dog you'd expect to be in the yard here.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, that's the generative AI, which is the coolest thing. Okay, enough of that nonsense. Well,
Hey, Dennis?
let's cancel that. Let's make this
The Camaro.
El Camino. Let's see. I think how about did that here? I gotta. You guys are your faces are covering up my little menu. Here, let's try this. Car. See if it does an El Camino.
Yeah.
El Camino. Actually, it's two words. El. Oops.
Put an extra C in there.
Oh yeah. L. See. The more accurate you are, the better result you get.
Yeah.
And it may not know what El Camino is. Yeah, it did know. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that one off, and I'm going to put, oops, here, a whole El Camino.
Is
Dennis?
it a Chevy car?
I know El Camino it means road, so put a road in there. El Camino.
Yeah, because that's like road or
El
path.
Camino car.
There you
See
go.
what that does.
Yeah. Hey, Dennis, you still there?
Yeah,
I got an idea for you on this fence.
okay,
Go out there this winter when you get a nice little light blanket of snow that covers the lawn really well.
yep,
Shoot that fence in the snow with those shadows.
Yeah. See,
Okay.
sometimes you get goofy stuff. It didn't know what El Camino was.
It's great.
What in the world was that?
I don't know. So generative AI is not it's not perfect. It's in fact sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Okay. In fact, you can spend hours putting in different shapes and
Oh man, yeah.
different things, and eventually you get something that works. Let's see here. I'm going to go back to stop sharing, and then I'm going to hit share again and go back to this screen. There we go. So this, in summary, for the open class, I like. In fact, actually, I'm going to put this one over here. Anyway, it's hard to say. I may like that one better than the bridge. So I like the Viking, I like the flowers, I like the eggs, I like the bridge. In fact, I liked all these. These are my favorites. If there was 5 choices, and then the line, leading lines, like the trees and the Big Bend Road, and these others were all pretty good too. So that's. It may not be the definitive answer you're looking for, but that would be my choice. And actually, this one would have been better if it had been darker, because on this size it didn't look very startling, but when I made it darker, it looked a lot more dramatic. And this one, I liked it after I lightened it. So those were real close to being great, but not quite. So, any thoughts, comments? Think I'm nuts?
No.
I have one question.
Okay.
Who's shooting the Leica monochrome?
Yeah, that's what I wondered.
Yeah.
I saw that. See, who was it?
That
I
was-
saw. What I did, I was like, when you click on these, you go down here and it tells you what kind of camera it was. No, not always. In fact, let's see. Where was that?
It was those were my pictures.
Camera. Here we go. Camera type.
Robin Hood and the
Okay, this one was with a Nikon D7200.
So how do you like that?
This was an iPhone. This is a Fujifilm X-T4. Pentax
Tom-
K20.
Nikon
Nikon
D600.
See, yeah, you can tell, you can look up and see what cameras they were, but there was a monochrome. Here it is. Tyler.
So-
yeah, I said
So-
it was mine. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you like that camera?
I like it, yeah. It's my only camera. It's fixed lens. I guess I like just having as many limitations as I can give myself. So it's a great camera for that.
So which camera is it? If it's a fixed lens, is it the Q?
Is it a fixed lens or did it just come with a 28?
It's a fixed 28 millimeter.
Oh, so you can't change lenses?
Right, it's the Q2. But
Q2.
it's the
Okay.
monochrome version.
According to this, it's a 28 millimeter 1.7 Summilux.
Yep.
I've heard a lot of good things about that camera.
It's got to be amazing.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And I thought maybe that it just came with a 28 and you could get something else. And
No,
you
they
can
don't
just,
have-
it says it's set on spot.
Mhm.
The meter, can you adjust the meter, I presume, or? I'm getting.
Yep.
So when I saw it was set on spot, I presume the meter was reading right here in the sky, which is why the thing the bridge was dark, because the spot meter would be reading the center of the frame.
Yeah, and also around that we have a couple more pictures, but
There was a
And
spot
what
would
you
be right in there.
what you see Spencer taking a picture of, we were doing, what do you call that, Spencer?
Oh, I was trying to do like a sun star. Like-
Sunburst.
Yeah, like a sunburst. So like you increase the aperture or the shutter speed to
Sure.
get as dark as possible so that you can get just the sun as a star. So that's probably why it was pretty dark.
So that's all I have to say.
Well, thank you so much, Jim.
They'll hit stop sharing. There you go. Back to everybody.
Appreciate your commentary, Jim. That
You what?
like your appreciate your commentary. Like your demonstrations there too of what you can do. Now, what version of Photoshop are you using there? I
That's the
think you said it was
one that came out about 2 days ago. I don't know what they call it. Let's see here. Photoshop. It's called where did it turn out? About
What version?
25.0.
Yep.
Which is also called Photoshop 2024, but it's version 25, which was really confusing.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. But it's considered Photoshop 2024, and they brought it. It's like, you know, they come out in the fall, but it's the 25th version. I started using Photoshop at Photoshop 3.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, it's been
That
a
was
while
30.
back.
That was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think I started with Photoshop 6.
Here's the kind of work I do. Are you seeing this screen? You're not.
Yeah.
No, I stopped
Seeing
sharing the
the,
screen.
seeing the
never mind.
yellow,
You can't-
everybody.
You're not seeing what I'm seeing, so that's right. It's not a big deal. I was just going to show you something on Photoshop. They don't need to. I'm done.
You done? You sure? Anybody else have anything they want to add to Jim's commentary or anything you want to ask him about?
Thank
He's
you,
a
Jim,
well of
for
knowledge.
thank you, Jim,
Travis,
for judging our images again. That was great.
Travis, your check will be with you this week. Bill Stoudemire, your check was deposited today. I apologize. It got separated from the rest of the group. So it's a couple days behind the rest of the guys, but
Okay.
So how was the seats to the game, Travis?
They were great. I was in section 349. I was up on the top section, but I was on the very front row. That's a very nice stadium. It's enclosed. It's got a glass. Half the roof is glass, and the whole end of the west end of the stadium, they can open it up. It's got 4 big 50-foot tall doors that they open up on nice
Oh,
days.
wow.
But it's all heated and air conditioned, so it doesn't matter what the weather is outside. It's nice inside. So it's a very nice stadium, and they got some interesting chant. They got an interesting chant that they do, and some
Full
interesting
bikes.
sound effects and videos. Yeah, they put their hands over the head and clap and say skull, which is for go or greetings is what it was, is what it is. So it's pretty fun. I've always wanted to go to a Vikings game just for the experience. And this year the Chiefs happen to be playing there at the stadium. So
Yeah, that's good.
This is the year to go.
Well, I'm going to leave you now.
All right. Thanks,
thank
Jim.
you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome.
Jim, appreciate it. I heard from Raymond the other day. He's going through the last of Gary Walden's Nikon equipment. So I don't know if anybody has an interest in that. If you do, get a hold of Raymond because it's probably going to be a first come, first serve thing when, he's just going to help Linda disperse the rest of it out. I guess he took a few parts out of it. And but I don't know how many guys, how many of you guys are shooting with Nikons or, yeah. So
Yep.
have you want Raymond's email address?
Sure. Which type of camera did he use?
That I'm trying to remember. It was I believe he's using a digital.
Okay.
But he's probably got some stuff goes back to film cameras. Because Gary had been shooting. He'd been part of this club for a long time. He was a member before I got here, and I didn't get here to what Bill, when did I get here? Around early 2000 or 2002 or somewhere in there. Yeah, but Gary was already a member. You know, he'd been a member long before I got here. So, yeah, Todd, I'll shoot that information over to you. You can get hold of Raymond.
Spencer, by the way.
Or Spencer, I'm sorry. I got Tyler on the brain for some reason. Yeah, I'll shoot that over to you.
Okay.
So that yeah, you get hold of Raymond and see if you know what he's got left. And if there's anything in there you can use, they want it to go to someone who will be able to use it and get some life out of it.
Yeah, yeah. Because currently I have a D7200 Nikon.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
So
there may be something in there that'll do you some good. So
yeah,
yeah, it's all free for the taking. They just want to disperse it out. A few years ago at work, I put out an email to everybody, just a general email to everybody that was on our list. Someone had given me, well, I tell you who it was. It was a couple of guys who used to judge for us. Now I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember the name.
Fred and Carl.
Fred Pullum, and yes, Carl and Fred. They had a bunch of Canon equipment and some lenses. So I just put out general email. Anybody got some old Canon cameras they want to part with? Because these lenses were really nice. I couldn't answer all the emails I got. I couldn't believe how many people had Canon cameras that were anxious to get rid of them. They're film cameras, really nice. There was one fella who worked for the police department out there. He worked for the Johnson County Sun when it first started publication. He was a photographer, and his wife wanted to go out with him, so he bought her an identical AE1 and identical lenses. And I went up to look at what he had one day. He comes up with this plastic box, 2 cameras, and I don't know, about a dozen lenses. He says, "Here," he says, $50, it's all yours. And I'm looking at this stuff, and I'm like, you know what this stuff is worth? And he goes, it ain't worth anything to me. I said, no, wait a minute. I gave him a website. I said, go out there and look. I said, some of these lenses are worth well over $200-300 a piece. I said, you got a lot of money sitting here. I mean, I'll give you $50 for it, but I don't want to take advantage of you. I said, go back and look them up and come back and give me another price. So about a week later, he calls me up and says, okay, $100. So I now have all his Canon equipment. Said, okay, I'm not going to argue with you. $100. And I know some of those lenses in there I looked up were like $300-400 still on the KEH website when I bought those. I just need to get those out and play with them a little bit more. I haven't played with them for a long time now. But there's some really nice lenses, and like I said, the stuff Fred and Carl gave me was really nice. They didn't have a lot, but they gave me some really nice, couple of nice cameras and some really high-end lenses that went with them. So I've got a little stock of Canon equipment here that I use on great occasion, or once in a blue moon. I'll put it that way, because I just don't shoot film that much anymore. So there's some good stuff out there still. I need to go out and shoot more film. I keep saying that, and then every time I go out with my camera, I grab that digital. It's made me lazy.
I gave up film. I said I'm done.
Yeah, I've still got a lot of film stuff. I've got some film cameras that take awesome photographs, but yeah, my favorite's that old 4x5 camera. Takes you 10 minutes to just go click. It's spend all day setting it up and just to fire a shutter and turn the holder around and shoot another one.
Yeah,
but that's a great camera too. I love it. Well, that's all I have on my mind. Our next meeting will be November 8th. Mike Wunsch will be judging repetitive patterns. So Has everybody gotten a copy of the updated assigned subject list? I think I sent one out the other day because I noticed the one that was in the newsletter still had not been updated. So I think I sent out another one to everybody.
So I got that last week, so I'll put it
Yeah.
in the new
Yeah.
next letter or next.
Yeah. You just copy paste that in there where you had the other one.
Yep.
Because we now have all the judges set up.
Okay. And I
But-
updated the membership list except for Tyler. I didn't have his stuff, so if we can get that, we'll have a completed list, and there may be even some people on there that we need to take off, but.
Right. I'm gonna fire off a couple of emails with some of our absentee people here and see what their intent is. The only one I actually had heard from was Marshall Ryman. He wants to stay in the club, but he says he can attend he can. It's rare when he can actually come in and be part of the meeting. So he figured he'd just sit out for a while. So that's fine. So I'll let him know that anytime he wants to jump back in. There's a guy there. He doesn't want to shoot digital. He just wants to shoot film, and he's a great photographer too. He does a lot of street shots and things like that. Man, he does some beautiful work. So I haven't talked to him enough to find out if he's doing his own film processing or if he's having it done. But he is a great photographer. But he's fully retired now.
Oh, that's
So
good.
yeah, he's involved with the theatrical group here that puts on a lot of plays here in town. A lot of local productions. That's where he spends a lot of when he's not out walking the streets taking pictures. He's over there doing rehearsals and things like that. He did a lot of that last winter and into the spring. That's what he's doing again this winter. So
I know he was in one of the Leewood stage plays a few years ago.
yeah. That's the kind of thing he likes to do. He enjoys doing that. So but that's great, gotta do what you like.
Yeah.
And like what you do. So Bill, you got much stuff left from your garage sale?
Yeah, some free stuff. I don't know. We put some stuff. The pickers are supposed to come by Thursday, so
Okay.
put some stuff out on the street. Galvanized things like you really need galvanized gutter pipe, And anyway, we'll see.
See what happens. If I put any kind of metal, I don't care what kind it is, any kind of metal out by the curb out here, within an hour it's gone. Somebody cruises this neighborhood constantly looking for metal, like scrap metal.
Huh.
So yeah, that's not an invite to bring your old guttering over here and throw it in my yard. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
Calvin,
All right, fellas, everybody have a good rest of the evening.
yeah, could
Sure.
you send me that information for the?
yes, I will before I forget. I'll send
Okay.
and I'll send it to Spencer and not to Tyler.
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
All
All
right.
right, take care.
Well,
Thanks. We'll see you later.
See ya.